This is for your basic one shell, one crust. The same recipe can be used if you're making a two crust. You want top and bottom, but this is for the basic sweet potato pie. A sweet potato pie, that crust requires just the crust at the bottom.
Now, where did you learn this recipe from, Mama?
I've seen my grandmother make pie crust many times. My great-grandmother, in fact, two of my grandmothers are the ones that I basically watched make this pie crust. Also, my great aunt, Aunt Betty, made pies also. She made pies. The pies that she made were cobblers. And that was for that you need two crusts. Crust at the bottom and then a crust at the top. And you cut strips and have the lattice top for your pie crust.
Lettuce?
Lattice.
Lattice. Okay.
That's like a fence.
Oh, yes, got it. Okay. All right. So
But we're not making a cobbler today. The filling for the sweet potato pie has already been prepared. This is the sweet potato with the ingredients are sugar and brown sugar. If I had known that I was going to do all of this, I would have let you watch me make the filling for this pie. But anyway, that's for another time. All right, the basic pie crust, the measurements, which I don't always use the exact measurements, but for the sake of the beginners, then here's the recipe for the basic crust. 1 cup of flour to 7 tablespoons of shortening. This, I believe, is a tablespoon. So you use a tablespoon of shortening to a cup to the flour.
And what kind of shortening do you like to use?
I use Crisco.
Okay.
Crisco shortening. And the Crisco shortening, I believe, has measurements, exact measurements. It's pretty good for measurements for your crust.
And what flour do you usually use?
I use gold medal flour.
Okay.
With this pie crust, I deviated a little from the regular pie crust. I mixed the regular gold medal flour with the Swan's Down, and it's only just going to make it fluffy and with a good moisture and fluffiness. So I used 1.5 cups of flour, the regular gold medal flour, and 1/2 cup of Swan's Down cake flour, a pinch of salt, which I did not put in yet, and I do mean just a pinch, not a lot of salt.
Now, obviously, everything was pre-cleaned because we are in this COVID era here, and
yes.
Everything has been wiped down,
Yes.
sanitized,
It's
and cleaned, and she's already washed her hands,
The
and my
rolling
counters
pin
were
was
clean.
washed ahead of time. The measuring cup ahead of time. These pie pans I took out of the package brand new. So they're brand new. Now, something else that I added that's my own addition to the pie crust. I'm going to add some butter to this mixture.
Butter or margarine?
This is butter. You can use margarine. I use either one. But I have already shopped for Thanksgiving, so I'm using the butter. It's an addition. In addition, when you're cooking, you will find that you add some things on your own. Like with my pecan pie, I have some pecans already at home shelled. I'm going to soak them in butter ahead of time simply because they not as oily or that I would really like. So I'm soaking them in butter. Okay, I'm deviating a little bit and off track because we're doing potato pie, and that's the pecan pie. If I were at home, I would show you both kinds, but it was too many ingredients to bring in the car, so I didn't do it. Now, here we go. So the flour has already been measured. You put it into a bowl. You take the fork and you kind of stir it around and mix it a little bit. The secret to any pie crust is the ice water. You have to have ice water, and you will see.
Well, this water is cold, and now you also have ice over here. Do I need to, and this ice is melted, so do I need to?
This is the one I'm going to use.
Oh, it's melted, so do I need to
No,
get more ice? Okay.
It's good. It's good. I'm going to use this,
Okay.
the ice water. Now, I already told you 7 tablespoons of shortening to a cup of flour. And this is going to be a little difficult for me because I don't always
Measure
use
exactly.
the exact measurements according to the recipe. So this is hard for me because I don't do it. But I know what the measurements are.
Is that based on the consistency of how it feels when you're cooking?
Well, it's just I've done it so much until I pretty much know. I gave you the measurements.
Right.
7 tablespoons of shortening to a cup of flour. So that's what you do.
Now, I noticed that these tablespoons I would describe more specifically as heaping.
Mm-hmm.
And so would that be correct? Because they seem to be heaping
Yeah,
tablespoons.
Yes. yeah. And don't forget I'm going to add the...
So this is for 2 pies? Or
This
1?
This will be for 2 pies because
That's
the
about this
potato
size.
pie only requires the bottom shell.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay. But if we were making a cobbler of the sort, because it would have the fencing or the lattice type thing, it would go on
be
top.
different. It would be different.
It would be enough for the top part.
Right, right.
So far, what was next?
I put in some butter into the pie crust, a half of a stick.
Okay. And now what is this step called that you're doing?
This is it, I'm trying to
Kneading?
think of the kneading.
Yes. Is that spelled the K-N-E-E-D?
Yes.
All right, got it. Is there anything particularly we're looking for during this kneading process?
You are mixing this up where it will be kind of crumbly,
Okay.
and you mix it all up before you add the ice water. Mix it all up real good where it's going to be crumbly. Yeah, this should be good. Now, that butter that I had no salt. So I put a pinch of salt in this mixture. I don't normally do that, and when I noticed it didn't have the salt, so that's why I put just a pinch of salt in it.
Okay.
But I don't use a lot of A lot of salt. And although most of the recipes call for salt. And you can see it's beginning to get crumbly.
Yes, yes, yes. Now, when you said your grandmother, were you talking about grandma
Okay.
or Mama
My
Frida?
Mama Frida. I did not watch her make pies. The only thing I actually observed her making was chili.
Oh,
I
so that would be that Kansas City chili, huh?
Yeah, I watched her make chili. I watched the way she prepared eggs too, egg over easy.
Oh,
And I was a little bit surprised. I did not grow up under Mama Frida's tutelage. I grew up under my great-grandmother's tutelage and my grandmother.
which great grandmother are you talking
My
about?
mother's mother, Frankie. I'll use their names.
But Grandma, who's Frankie, she wasn't your great grandmother.
No.
So who was your great
My
grandmother?
great-grandmother was my daddy's grandmother, his daddy's mother. And you and Rhonda saw her. She lived to see you and Rhonda when we went to Kansas City.
What was her name?
Her name was Maddie,
Oh, that's Maddie Carter.
Maddie Carter.
Okay, and
And
she is Grandpa's grandmother. Got it.
And she lived to see you and Rhonda.
I see.
You were 3
Yes.
and Rhonda was 4. And she lived to see you. She's the one that let you and Rhonda play with cornmeal.
Oh.
She busted a sack of cornmeal, put it on the ground, gave you pots and pans, and let y'all had a ball. Now, this mixture, you can see, is real good. Now, after you get it nice and crumbly, now we're ready to add the ice water.
Okay.
And you kind of have to, I think, how many cubes of ice did you put in
Oh,
here?
Lord.
About 6
6
to
to
a
8.
half a cup of water.
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay.
Because you're not going to use all of it. And you mix it up.
Okay.
Like playing in mud pies,
I see.
which you all don't know about because I don't think, did you and Rhonda play mud
Well,
pies?
if it was some mud pie playing, it would have been me and Derek.
Oh, really?
Well, because he and I were the ones outside playing more,
Oh,
where he
'cause Rhonda crushed-
tries to accuse me of snatching the wings off of butterflies. At this day and age, I would absolutely deny that that is true.
Oh, it was
He
probably
does see this video, which I'm sure he
It's
will,
probably
because I'll
true.
send it to
true.
him.
It probably was true. It was true.
I
Because
don't.
your daddy says
Mm,
that you hospitalized all your dolls. You bandaged up the arms or leg. And he says you had a bandage around the rabbit.
oh boy.
And he said when he turned over, you stretched out on the couch and you were getting ready to put the baby arm in a sling. He said, that you won't.
I kind of do remember that.
Don't put no sling on that baby's arm.
But you talking about Dee Dee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said you was always bandaging up something
I see.
and putting them in the hospital.
Okay. Maybe that's how I got my early start.
Yeah. He says you love to bandage up. And you just keep adding. That's okay. The piece of ice gets in there. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with the ice in a minute.
Okay.
When I roll it out and everything, I usually take a piece of ice and rub it over there. The rest, I've never seen a recipe that call for that. But when you're cooking, you will find there will be little things that you will do on your own that you, your own ingenuity, I'll say, or you pick up some things that you do experimental that you think is good, and it works out fine. Now this is going to make 2 pie shells. It's going to make 2. And the ice water.
What is the consistency you're looking for completeness? How will you know that you're done with this?
Well, when it gets so you can make it into like a big ball.
Okay.
You mix it and have it thoroughly mixed up.
So in that case, then your ain't quote sister, which is
She made pies. I did not observe her. She was a very good pie maker.
because where did Aunt Shirley learn how to make the good rolls? Where has she gotten that one from? The
She
rolls.
got the recipe from somebody. I don't know who it was. I don't know. Shirley was the roll maker. Her mother was an excellent cook. In fact, her mother and my dad had a restaurant for a short time, and I understand it was very good. He was good with meats, seasoning meats. Sister was good with the vegetables and pie. In fact, she worked at a place where that's all she did. She made pies.
Oh.
Now you see, this is beginning to get.
Yes.
It's beginning to get
Into
nice.
an actual ball.
Yeah. Yeah. It's getting to be a nice ball, and I'm almost ready to. I'll divide up in half and roll out half of it on the biscuit board, and then do the other half for the other pie shell.
Okay. Is it time for me to turn the oven on?
Not yet.
Okay.
When I get it rolled out, you have electric. Is your, well, what is it? I mean,
Oh,
gas?
electric oven. I thought you meant a beater. It's gas.
Yes. Okay. The temperature, I believe, is 350.
Okay.
My oven, which I do not like because it's electric and it cooks too fast, I put it on 325.
Okay.
Now, this is ready for me to, and you can see, now it's into a ball.
Right.
I will take half of it.
Oh.
I'll dust the biscuit board
Okay.
with flour. I gotta wash my hands with my hands. Now, we're getting ready to dust biscuit board. We're gonna take out half.
Okay. Now, what is the purpose of the dusting?
We gotta roll it out.
Okay.
And that's the only way you're gonna roll it out into a, and then you work it so that if you have any lumps left in it, they'll be mashed in real good and flattened. Yeah, this is a nice crust.
Yeah. What makes you say it's a nice one? What? Because what are you looking for?
It's not too wet, Sometimes I have problems making it too wet. If you use too much water,
Oh,
then you gotta add more flour.
I see.
And the more flour you add, then that makes it tough.
Oh,
If you put too much flour.
yes. Uh-huh.
This is a good crust.
Nice.
It's a good crust.
Yes, yes, yes.
I can tell without eating. It's a very good crust.
Okay. Do you know how old you were when you made your first pie by yourself?
Probably when I got married.
Oh. So after you got married, did you
I'm trying
just...
to think, did I make pies? I don't think I made, no, I didn't make no pie when I was courting Reginald.
Do you feel like you were prepared to, when you got married, to cook various things?
Yeah.
Why did you feel so confident?
Because I grew up with grandmothers that cooked, and I like to experiment. I made a cake by myself when I was 11.
Oh.
My grandmother's birthday cake,
Which grandmother again?
Frankie.
Okay, right.
I made her birthday cake, hid it under the bed, wrapped it up.
What kind of cake was it?
It was a plain cake with white icing.
How did it come out?
Came out good.
Yeah. What did she say?
She acted surprised, but I think she knew. Because I kept asking her, now, is anything up under that bed?
Yeah.
Any spider webs or anything?
Oh, because that's where you were going to hide it? How long did you have it hid there under the bed?
Just overnight.
Uh-huh.
And she said, no, there's nothing under that bed.
She didn't ask you why?
I think she knew.
Oh. What do you think you did to give it away? Did you have to
Kept
buy the stuff?
asking her. No. Now I knew to have everything spotless clean when she got home because she was very particular, as you will remember. When she come in your house, she would, kind of do that.
I know,
to
exactly.
furniture and stuff. I mean, it was just,
Grandma.
yeah, she
did.
she was ticky about a house.
Yes, she was.
And one of the reasons I believe she was ticky about a house, she worked in private homes.
Oh,
So, she changed her curtains in the summer.
right.
She put on summer curtains and then the winter ones. And
Curtains.
yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. And she did that, and she now you can turn the oven on now.
Okay.
She did all that.
I gotta figure out how to turn the oven on. Oh, Lord. Oh, see. I don't know how to turn on an oven. Oh, Lord. Cut.
Notice this crust, how it is? I can raise it up like that.
Now, what's the depth of the crust about? What would you
I don't
say?
know about all that. You don't want it too thin.
Uh-huh. Okay.
You don't want it too thin.
Okay.
Let's see, I need something to put. I guess I could put this excess in here.
You have to dust the pan, too?
No.
You want me to throw that in the...
No, don't throw it away.
okay.
We'll use that. Now I'm getting ready to show you how to. Now, you know it's a good pie crust if you can do all that.
Meaning that it won't break apart? I see. Okay. Good. I'm getting a good one, y'all. Right.
And you take and
Work it, Bob. That's right, girl. Only the family's gonna get this secret on the pies. I don't know if I could share this yet with anyone. This is a secret.
Don't be
I
selfish.
will let Aunt Joyce and Pam and them see it. And the cousins in Kansas
What
City.
about your sisters?
Well, of course, my sisters. Of course, my sisters. Yeah, I'm going to send this to them before anybody else sees it. I'm going to string the 3 because I chopped it up in 3 different places. So I'm going to I have to add the 3 because I may add music.
I have a particular case night. Now, you can do whatever kind of decoration or formation you want. You can do the thumb.
Yes, uh-huh.
Put it like that.
Yes, yes, yes.
And this jacket that you got me in is making me hot. And you see, that gives a little bit of a design.
Yes, yes, yes.
Then you take and cut the excess out.
Yes.
If you have some little ones in your house, you can take the excess dough,
Yeah,
roll it up, put a little butter and cinnamon in it,
yeah.
and bake it and let them play with it and have it, and, which is what I let Freddie and Dania do. And this is voila.
Voila! Bam! What y'all now? There it is.
And you could
And
take
what's your name?
Barbara Jean,
That's right, you go girl.
Mighty Bob.
Mighty, Mighty Bob.
This, you take it, do it like that.
Yeah,
Take a little sugar, sprinkle on it cinnamon,
yeah.
put it in the stove. If the child is old enough, you let them put it in the pan, put it in there.
Okay. Now, Mama, we had an easy bake, me and Rhonda.
You sure did?
Did that make, because it did cook too, didn't it?
Yeah. I let y'all use it a few
Yeah,
times.
I remember that. That's how I got my start
Yeah.
with my easy bake oven. Right.
And you made your grandmother, your great grandmother, her oatmeal, and she thought that was the
In the easy bake
cutest-
oven, huh?
The cute, no, it wasn't in the oven.
Oh.
It was on the stove.
Oh,
You made
on my
your
easy
oat-
bake.
You use the easy bake oven. Y'all just use that to play with. Now,
But didn't the easy bake oven, it cooked for real, right? Okay.
now, if this were a peach cobbler
Yes.
and we had this, I would put some holes to let it breathe,
Oh.
or I would roll this out into strips, cut it,
I see.
cut
I
it,
see.
and that's like your lattice.
I see.
You know, you've seen pies like this,
Right. I see. All right.
but we're not making that.
Okay.
Okay.
And cut.
And this is sweet potato custard. This is the custard that I made this morning.
Okay, let's
You should have
it.
tasted it, Tamika, see if it's sweet
I know
enough.
it's sweet. It's good.
Huh?
I don't want to taste it. Yeah.
You don't want to?
Not now. No.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, this one is all for me. The whole custard. Oh. That's my pie. How long does it cook in the oven for?
Uh-oh, I think about 40 minutes.
40 minutes. Wow.
Until this becomes baked where you can
When
cut
you
it.
finish with that, I'll taste whatever from there. Okay. Let me taste it.
Now, Marie Callen ain't no better than that.
Not at all. Please.
The pie is ready on two fronts. If it's brown, and this is slightly brown, and when the custard is not jiggly, it's ready.
Is it brown enough?
It's up to you. You can leave it in there a little longer, but the longer you let it stay, you know you don't want your
Crust to get hard.
to be too hard.
Okay. All right.
Take it
Master Chef, go ahead and take it out. Let's put it in. I should have put it on top of this.
This pepper's
Okay,
on the
so awesome. Mayo, yes. Voila.
I think it looks good.
Yes. And cut.
Not have an adult beverage. Yours is plain.